I don't know if I've ever seen weeds die that fast. So I went online and bought the absolute strongest all-natural weed killer that I could find to test out and spray on some of the weeds at my house. And I'm not kidding when I say absolute strongest, because the commercial grade version of this stuff that's available is like barely half the strength that we've got today. Fair warning. Warning. This stuff is non-selective, which means whatever you spray it on, it's gonna die. So don't spray it on stuff that's already in turf that you wanna keep. It is made by a company called Calyptus. I bought it on Amazon myself, and it's 75% vinegar, which is 15 times stronger than the stuff that you've got in your house. It says right here on the label, this is not a food for industrial use only. We're not even gonna dilute this stuff. We're just gonna spray it directly on some weeds and see what kind of results we get. Homemade natural weed killer mixture that most people use is made up of vinegar, dish soap, and salt. But because this stuff's so strong, we're just gonna totally skip the soap and the salt. That stuff is usually 5% concentrated, but this is 75% concentrated. You know, I'll just be honest with you guys too. One of the real reasons that I wanted to try this is I got a young daughter. She's almost 2 years. Oh God. She's almost 2 years old, and I want to try something more natural, see if I can take care of some pesky weeds around the lawn with something more natural and not have to worry about keeping her away from here, keeping her away from there while this dries or whatever. Why not? I'm sure you can relate. It's just vinegar. So the plan is we're just gonna take this stuff undiluted, spray it on all the weeds I got around my yard. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of test samples. I'll show you guys the results. So this stuff being 75%, that means that it's 75% acetic acid. And it sounds pretty scary, but it's not a carcinogen or anything like that. Now, when you put that much acid onto the leaf tissue of a plant, you get total destruction of the cell membrane of the plant, and it just dries out the plant. If you wanna geek out a little bit more about this, I'll link an article in the description that the USDA did that actually talks about some scientific studies about using vinegar to kill plants. And I think you'll be pretty surprised with the kind of results they get out of that from just like 5 or 10% concentrations. Oh, that stinks. Wow, that stinks. Here we go. Holy crap. Okay, at this point we're only at like 40 minutes. This thing's already dying. Okay, so for reference, there's the plant I didn't spray. There's the plant I did spray, already discolored. I hit that creeping Charlie or wild violet a little bit too. So the giant thistle is not dead yet, but everything is completely discolored. We're not even an hour in. You can totally see the difference. Totally see the difference. So we're at the 4-hour mark now, and this stuff is totally checking out. Even that big thistle over there, it's got some major signs of damage. And some of the stuff that we sprayed in the driveway is like completely dead now. So just keep in mind that this stuff is non-selective. So unless you're trying to kill your whole lawn like I did last year, it might not be the best choice for the weeds that are in your turf where you want to keep that turf. Now I think we can all agree that this stuff produces results, but in the spirit of honesty and transparency, there are a couple things that we should talk about just to make sure that we're all on the same page with expectations from this. Number one thing is that this may not kill your weeds the very first time. So you just need to be aware that unlike some of the synthetic and harsh chemicals that are out there that advertise that they kill the weeds the first time you apply them, you may have to apply this a couple times to your weeds, especially those really tough ones, to really get them gone and dead and manage them. But for some people, that's totally okay. And using this as an all-natural alternative to those more synthetic, harsher chemicals is a totally fine trade-off, but that's for you to decide. The second thing I wanted to mention is, though this is all natural, make sure that you do wear some PPE. You saw that I had gloves and long pants on. This stuff is very acidic, so if you do get it on your skin, it will definitely irritate your skin, but it's not a carcinogen or anything like that with any of those kind of harmful side effects. Now, last year on my front lawn, I actually did a complete renovation, and I used glyphosate out there because I wanted to make sure that those troublesome spots that I had out there were completely dead. And I put together a video to talk about how I killed my front lawn and what I did to make sure that I stayed safe and that everything that was there was dead and wasn't gonna come back. So I hope you'll check that video out, and I'll see you over there.